What's up, family? Welcome back to the Stop Sinking Show, where we go from struggle to flow. One of the questions I am asked most, because I tend to keep it real with people, and ironically, one of the questions that I ask myself, because even when I'm struggling with this, I have to keep it real with myself too. And that question is, am I selfish right now if I have an issue with this person, but they need me to support them through a difficult time? And I feel hesitant, like my body is still carrying the energy from not feeling settled with them. And sure, they need me, but every cell in my body just wants to scream at them so they know that they don't deserve me. And while I always say, only do what your heart allows, never an inch more, there are times, especially during extenuating circumstances, that the real answer that I have for you is yes, you are selfish. This is not a time to think about you. It is not a time to settle differences and scratch that itch. Right now, it is a time for you to be there for them, because nothing else matters. All your human crap, all those stories in your head, none of them mean anything. When we're there to support someone through illnesses, life or death, divorce, or any of these severe situations, none of those things mean anything. And if someone was going through that, and they needed you through those times, but you can't help but think about yourself first, then yes, how is that not selfish? I really don't care how much they wronged you or how hurt you are. The best way to neutralize negative energy is to not add any more to the system. And being there for someone gives you a possibility of adding at least some positive energy to the system. Now, I don't suggest that you fall right back into your old patterns with this person, that you give them the place that they had before. No, your brain will be sounding alarms, because the entire job of memory is to protect you from touching that hot stove that caused you pain. If you start to recreate the scenarios in which you found yourself exposed and vulnerable before, which led to hurt, then you might wind up reinvigorating that hurt, poking at that wound. And that's not the point. Not being selfish doesn't mean you become dumb or don't take any of your learnings with you. It just means to put aside your own needs, to be there for that person in a time of their need. And in some way, maybe they wouldn't even do that for you. Maybe they wouldn't put themselves aside for you. But that should give you even more solace, that you are neutralizing the potentiality of our human ego to degenerate to hell. You become an example of putting what's most important as the most important. And sometimes people just have never seen anyone do that in front of them, to put themselves second in these scenarios, especially in these scenarios, to know that it's even possible to do that. Sometimes self-preservation takes over your entire being, your entire personality, because you feel so unsafe that you stop being able to relate to the world and their needs completely. And I don't have to spell out for you to know that this leads to increasing isolation. For a human race that is purely designed for connection, relies on it for survival, putting yourself above the group, putting yourself first, especially in these scenarios where you are forgetting what's important, might sound cute as a meme, put yourself first, but it is a substandard strategy for the harsh realities of life that we must bear together. Not only do I struggle with this myself, in obvious clear examples that come to my head immediately, it is no surprise to me that other people violate this all the time. And in the name of self-protection, they forget what is most important in the world to be, and that is connected. I've seen family members pick the worst of times to try and settle differences. And it makes you wonder whether they realize that their inflated self-importance will never lead to actual protection. If what you are after is to maintain your safety, and you feel the need to address that aching animosity, to scratch that itch at a time when it is not appropriate, then you actually do your own goal of safety a disservice. You actually provide yourself even less safety because you put your needs above the needs of the moment. And unfortunately, when there is a time, because there will be a time when it is your moment in which you need support, you will have very few people around you. Compromised safety because of lack of connection. You will have shed and lost them in your incessant needs to settle differences when it is least appropriate. And no one can save you from the consequences of your own bitterness. When I am in the moment and the person needs me, I can literally feel myself fighting the other parts of me that hold the animosity. And I have to be very careful about not letting that energy seep out of me. And sometimes it still does. I am a human being. But I try to redirect and think about the other person and foster and nurture the love in my heart for them, to really try and see their humanity, or see humanity altogether and the fragile nature of our needs and how they are constantly shifting, and how someday it's you, another day it's me. We will prop up all types of things in place of harmony. We will make the unimportant important in almost all of our waking moments, because it's worth settling differences, right? And I'm a proponent to have all the conflict you want, settle all the differences. But there is a time and a place for it all. And here's the thing. If you really want to feel settled, be there for them in their time of need. Your time of need will come. Your animosity cannot ache more than someone else's anguish. I love you, family. Stay true always. I'll see you on the next show.